In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, one God. Amen. Today we're looking at the way of Luke 24. At the end of every chapter, we take a look at the theme that strings and brings everything together. And so the way of Luke 24, I'm calling the way of resurrection. And this way of resurrection is filled with life and light and joy. There is this victory over death. And in fact, what's beautiful about the way of resurrection is that it's still Christ in his humility and his sacrificial love who manifests himself in a resurrected body. He is resurrected, but he is still love and still humility, and it's beautiful. This loving humility is manifested in so many different ways in the chapter of 24. The way of resurrection is revealed in this way of loving humility and sacrifice is revealed in the fact that he doesn't appear to the Pharisees. He doesn't appear to the crowd and say, "Hey, check it out. You guys did the wrong thing. You crucified God. That's like a no-no." Instead, he reveals himself to the disciples. And not only does he reveal himself to the disciples, but he disguises himself as a stranger. What great humility, what great love. And as he walks with the disciples on the way to Emmaus, he sets their hearts on fire. He opens their eyes in the breaking of the bread, and then he disappears. He comes in the midst of his disciples and asks for food. Will you eat with me? Again, incredible humility. Do you have anything to eat? They give him fish and honeycomb. The story continues where he tells his disciples to wait in Jerusalem, and he's going as the bridegroom. He's leaving, but he's not leaving them alone. He's going to endow them with the power of from on high, with the promise of his Father, which is the Holy Spirit himself. And then we see in this way of resurrection, this way of incredible love and humility, he ascends into heaven for our sake. He does it again in extreme humility. Does he need to ascend? Is this something that, has he ever been apart from his Father? Not for a moment. He's been, even while he is on earth, he's fully in control of the cosmos and in the bosom of the Father. But that's the point, is everything he did out of love for us in humility. So the way of victory is the way of smallness overcoming greatness and becoming great. It is the way of through death overcoming life. It is through humility overcoming pride, through his incredible love overcoming hatred. The resurrection is the life of victory, but this life of victory is found in loving humility, in the loving humility of God. Even in his resurrection, he is love who longs to unite with his people, who longs to unite with his beloved. And so this blessed resurrection gives us the way forward in our own lives. If we are to walk in the way of resurrection, we are to walk in the power of loving humility. We are to walk in the life of Christ himself. We are to unite his life with ours. In fact, that can only be done through the Holy Spirit who resides in us through baptism. It is the Holy Spirit indwelling us, filling us, who gives us the life of Christ. It is Christ himself who indwells us, his whole kingdom within us. And then we can live victorious over sin. We can live victorious over hatred, over pride, over greed, and over death itself. For we can walk with Christ in the way of resurrection. Loving humility wins over death and pride and greed. Have a beautiful day.